A lot of excitement from the Rutgers alum, and I got to be honest with you. You know, I've been tough on Rutgers.
Yes.
Of course, I'm a WV grad, so I'm allowed to be.
So am
But
I.
that being said, I think there's been more excitement in the last 3 weeks than the 11 years that he has not been here.
I wouldn't fight you on that, man.
And
he's a rock star.
That's a testament
for
to him.
That's right.
And it's the unfortunate state of where the program was. But from what we understand, I mean, a lot of people flipping and changing. And let's bring Greg Schiano into the show on the Boardwalk Honda Hotline. As I know, Coach, New Jersey is very, very there's a lot of talent here that has left the state, and I'm sure you have been using the last 14 days to try to get around this state as much as possible to convince those kids to come and stay here. So how difficult was it in such a short amount of time to get through this state and start to talk to these kids and convince them this is where you need to be?
Well, the time was really the biggest issue. I think, had we had more time, we could have seen a lot of more kids, and we could have developed relationships that would have been able to turn more kids' minds around. But I thought it was excellent. We didn't have a big staff. At the time we had 2 coaches, then 3 coaches that were out recruiting. But everybody worked together, and we hit a bunch of schools and a bunch of home visits. And in the end, we were able to really put together a good class. We got here, we had 10 commitments that were already on the books. 2 decommitted, so we were down to 8, and today we finished with 17 2 weeks later. So it was a sprint, but along the way we hired a guy by the name of Fran Brown, who's very connected in South Jersey, a heck of a football coach, a defensive specialist, and really has strong relationships in that area. So it was a big help. So that helped us flip a few guys, and then I'm from North Jersey, and so is our coach Nunzio Campanelli. So between all of us, we have enough relationships that we were able to get into a lot of places and really help our football team get better.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned the North, and everybody down here knows how powerful the high school football is in the North. The South plays some pretty good football. You got a chance to see some of the schools up at Rutgers. They hosted the the state finals up there, those regional championship games. And from there, Malachi Melton, he'll join his brother Bo from Cedar Creek, Tyreem Powell from Vineland. He's made the decision. So North Jersey, we know, is very plentiful, but how important is, getting these kids from the South to me? Because I mean, living down here, sometimes Rutgers is almost feels like it's so far away, but obviously winning changes a lot of that, and having the success that you guys had in the past changed a lot of that for you.
Well, there's no doubt, and I'll tell you what, it isn't far away. It may feel far away because South Jersey kind of associates with Philly, where North Jersey associates with New York. But in the middle of it all is Rutgers. And what we were able to do the first go-around is make Rutgers New Jersey's. It's the only thing that is New Jersey's very own. And you started to see great, great players from South Jersey come. You talk about guys like Logan Ryan and George Johnson, Ryan DiPierio, Alex Silvestro, Karan Pratt. You're talking about all these guys that came to Rutgers from South Jersey, ended up playing in the National Football League. So there's no doubt in my mind how important South Jersey is to this program, as is Central and North. The whole state is critically important for us to become what we are going to become, to not only get back to where we were, but go flying right by that and get to our original goal, which was to be number 1.
Head coach Greg Schiano, Rutgers, keeping kids in New Jersey, paramount. We know that that's at the top of the list. But I want to get your opinion on the last time you did this, you were in the Big East. Now you're in the Big Ten. Now, that's a different kid. So how is the difference in recruiting Big East kids to Big Ten kids? Is it different? Do you have to change because of the geographic schedule that you'll play? Before, I thought you did a great job of going into Florida and telling the Florida kids, hey, come here. You get to play South Florida. You can play Miami. Is it harder to tell those kids to play Purdue and Indiana and Illinois? So what's the difference, Big Ten, Big East recruiting?
Well, I think Big Ten makes product more appealing. You're talking about the Big Ten East is the best football conference in all of America. And you get to compete in that level. And now you're going to compete in that level with all the resources necessary to be successful. I don't think that could have been said before. But in this negotiation to come back, there were certain things that were non-negotiable. And we needed to be able to compete in the Big Ten. And it took Rutgers a little bit to decide if that's really what they wanted to do. But I can tell you this. Rutgers is all in. They did everything that we needed to do to be able to compete, from coaching salaries, support staff, facilities, everything that needs to happen for us to become Big Ten champions and more, they've put into place. So now it's our job to go do it. And I talked about some guys, Tyrene Powell and Max Melton and Chris Long, like those guys, they're going to help us do it. They're big-time football players that are right in your area that, without a doubt, God willing, they stay healthy. Those are NFL football players. And one thing I learned early on, when our program really made its biggest move, the guys in our program started ending up in the National Football League. Those are the guys that make a difference. And you recruit the right guys, you develop them, and over time that pipeline starts dumping into the NFL, and it keeps flowing if you're recruiting the right guys, and that's how you win games. Don't matter if it's Big Ten, Big East. That is fact. That's proven, and I can't wait to get that pipeline going again.
Coach, it's Ryan. It's good to have you. Tier 1 goals and expectations, because this program has obviously taken a dip since you've left, and now you're in the rebuild process, as Mike has asked you, and you guys have already talked about a lot of different things. But season 1 for you at Rutgers, what's the one goal that in your mind has to be achieved taking a step forward?
Well, the goal I'm going to say is going to take, and it really already started. I met with the team when I was hired, and I explained this to them. We need to be the smartest, toughest, physically best conditioned, mentally best conditioned team in America. Those things, what I just said, all 4 of those things, it doesn't matter if you're a 1-star or a 5-star. So if we can control the controllables, the rest is going to take care of itself. And I think the staff that we're putting together is an elite staff. It's an experienced staff. It's one that knows how to win. And we're gonna really work with our players, and together we're going to create a product that the people of New Jersey and the state of Rutgers, they're going to be excited to come watch play.
I'd like to get your opinion on this, Coach, because you were at Ohio State and saw the culture there. And when people think of college football in the state of New Jersey, I think you would understand the fan base at Ohio State's a little different. That's their life out there. And I don't know that New Jersey will ever catch that in terms of where college football is on the same level, because we are between professional towns. However, when we see how non-competitive Rutgers was at times this year, how far do you feel, being at a level of Ohio State, that Rutgers is from closing that gap and being able to surpass? Is it a insurmountable thing where to even believe that? Because I think people think like you just can't get to that level. Or is that something that is attainable?
No, there's no doubt it's attainable. In 2000, I took this job at the end of the 2000 season, and I stood at the podium and said, we will win national championships at Rutgers, and people laughed. Well, a few years later, we got as high as number 7. Now, we didn't achieve our goal, but you could see our goal from where we were at 7. So there's no reason that we can't not only get back to that level, but go flying past it and achieve our ultimate goal. And you made a comment earlier about how different the Big Ten is. If you look back at 2006, Louisville finished 6th in the country, West Virginia was 8th, and we were 12th. That's better than last year, 2018. That's a better cumulative ranking than a 14-member Big Ten had. So we can't lose sight of what good football was being played in the Big East Conference back then. And I don't think it's any different. I think you recruit great players who love the game of football and that are great people, and then your growth is exponential, and people will just sit back and watch it happen.
I do miss the Big East, being a WVU guy. I miss those regional things. This Big 12, I just can't get into as much, and we'll see. Obviously getting a chance to play Penn State and Michigan and Ohio State is an awesome opportunity for these kids. So with that, Coach, what do you think is the selling point for New Jersey kids to stay in school? What separates Rutgers from someplace else when you talk to them?
Well, it separates is that it's home, right? So all your family, all the people you love, your town, all your fans, they can just travel right with you. Now, if it wasn't a good environment, if it wasn't a great education, if it wasn't coaches that were going to be able to get you ready to achieve your dreams, then I would be the first one to tell them to leave. Mm-hmm. But we've proven already. When we left in 2011, we were ranked 20th in the country of active NFL players. When I got here, we had 2 active NFL players, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
When we left, we were 20th in the country with active NFL players. So you show me a young guy who loves football, and I'm going to show you a guy who wants to get to the NFL. We've proven by the way we do things that we're going to help our players get there. We've proven that you can win big here at Rutgers. So now if the guys know they can do that, heck, why not stay home? Why not make it easier on yourself? Why not make it easier on your family?
Yeah. Well,
and now you're representing yours. You're representing your people. You're not representing Ohio's. You're not representing Pennsylvania's. Or you're not representing Florida's. You're representing the state you grew up in, the state that you love. We just got to give them a reason to stay, and that's why we're here.
I say often, Coach, being at WVU, people drive Ohio State, they'll drive 3-4 hours every week to go watch a game. Driving an hour and a half should not be that big of it. The whole state should migrate to a game every Saturday. I hope it can get to that level where it is a rite of passage that every weekend people just get in the camper or the RV and park them outside SHI because college football is awesome. It is such a great sport. We'll leave with this. What do you think about the facilities and where they are and where you would like to see them get?
Well, we have good facilities. I mean, I don't want anybody to think when I say that part of my thoughts about coming here are dependent on facilities. We have what I would say are really, really functional, very, very good facilities. We have beautiful locker room, beautiful weight room. But in today's recruiting wars, you need, when you bring a prospect on campus, they need to see a beautiful building that has everything you can imagine, all under one roof, because every other school you go to, not only in the Big Ten, but in the region, all the Power 5 schools in the region have that. So can we win championships in the current facility? Yes, we can. But can we continue to recruit at the highest level? As time goes on, this facility that we're in is only going to get a little bit older. It's going to feel a little bit smaller. And that's why we've set out to build a new facility, a new football facility that will be the best in the country. And we're going to raise money to do that, and we're going to build it as soon as humanly possible. So these kids that are getting recruited right now will have the opportunity to work in that building and to practice in that building. I love our stadium. I don't want our stadium to get any bigger. People all across America are decreasing their seats because people are staying home and watching those beautiful TVs they have. And what we're going to do is create a reason for our fans, like we did it in our first go-around. I don't know what the number was, but we had a really, really incredible consecutive sellout run that was a ton of fun. There's no reason that once we get it this time that it ever goes away. So we got to give them a product to make them want to get in the car and drive that hour and a half. And like you said, tailgate, make a day of it. We will help out with that. We're going to make this the place to be on a Saturday afternoon or a Saturday evening, and I can't wait for that to happen.
I'll tell you, just in the 2 weeks, it looks like you are having a blast having this job back. Is that accurate?
It really is. I love being a head coach, but I love being a head coach in my home state more than anything. And, sometimes it takes leaving for you to realize what you really want and what you miss. So God has given me a chance to do a do-over here, and I'm going to make the most of it.
Head coach Greg Schiano, we know there's a lot of alum listening, some former players in the audience today who are texting in and want to say hello. And we say Melton, without the Melton family, you got a whole bunch of kids up there. My God, what a tremendous athletic family that is. Pal out in Violence, so the South Jersey kids going up there. Coach, we appreciate a couple minutes of your time, and congratulations on getting these kids to stay home.
Thanks, fellas.